Weather stories. Prayers for benevolent weather. 1955. My mother, at the age of 12 or 13, at an age that cannot be verified in the absence of a birth certificate. She has a memory I try to verify. I find a photograph owned by alum, a British entity profiting from the demise and suffering of people from an almost forgotten place and time. An image that exists in the deep corners of my mother's mind, in the deep recesses of an online portal. An image branded with a word that does not belong. Alum spells disenfranchisement. Alum means assimilation of water and air. Alum, a word stamped across a catastrophic weather event, a catastrophic memory. It is the year of the Great Flood, as my mother calls it. She doesn't understand the biblical or historical references of calling it this. She calls it this because of the great devastation, the great loss from the greatest movement of water she has ever seen. She remembers the relentless rain, praying to God to end the monsoon as the tepid waters rise, her village washing away, mud walls crumbling, belongings quickly stored in baskets, lifted and thrust onto heads to be carried frantically, but to where? There is no higher ground. It's a flat village, a dirt village, a village with no permanent structures, a village with only intentional vegetation. And she is there barefoot, water swirling at her waist, she in threadbare clothes trying to save a clay pot, a basket, a brass bowl, small things, important things. She remembers the clamoring to save the beloved oxen, the gentle water buffaloes, the creatures that tether families to survival. She remembers the fear in animal and human eyes. At some point, she does not know when. There are no clocks or calendars in this village. The gods go quiet. The clouds close their mouths. The light climbs above the horizon, and the villagers start over again from nothing but soil and sky. 1975. The things my mother knows in her body but cannot express in words. How the skies are fraught with clouds. How our survival is steeped in weather, in the threshold of water, earth, and sky. How the desire to hold together this small life has become a holy practice. How it is karma that we refuse to learn, and our guessmith that the weather will not stop teaching us. 1977. She is 5, and she craves rain, because rain means she won't have to work in the fields that day. She will not have to sweat in the dead heat of summer, not have to labor in the air thick and ripe. Small hands gather berries heavy with the weight of the sun. Brown hands now stained red. Fingers sticky with juice. A halo of bees crowns her head. Body bent like the sun's arc from sun up to sundown. She is 5, and she has already learned that the weather will dictate what her summer will hold. It will dictate how much worry and fear reside in her father's heart, how much joy and relief lift her mother's voice. The proper balance of heat and rain will bring about a good season, an abundant harvest, and then everyone will be happy for a short while. 1983. My grandfather's eyes are trained on the clouds. He does not know their names, their Latin names, their technical names, nor their English names, but he knows which ones will bring rain. He knows how trembling clouds can bring us fleshy sugarcane, abundant cotton, and rice. He knows that in our language there is a reason we use the same word for sky and God. He prays under his breath, Hai Rabba Satnam Vaheguru. 1987. She is 15. Brown hands still stained red. Fingers still sticky with juice. She still craves rain. The workers have left the field, but she remains cradled by humidity. She waits for the clouds to break, feels that if she jumped up, she could caress the blanket of clouds slung so low, feel their heaviness in her palm. She waits and the clouds release, warm midsummer rain, a cleanse, a momentary rinsing of fatigue. (2018) The helicopters save us in ways we did not anticipate. The abrupt shift in early summer weather brings new dangers, the damage to cherries in the fleeting moments after the burst of a thundershower, curtailed as they hover low. They save the precious grapes from the early frost. The leaves billow, disintegrate to dust, and we expel a collective sigh of relief. (2021) The crack of thunderbolt, the strike of lightning, transforms native grasses to blackened stubble, towering trees to charred limbs and anthracite knots. The wind pushes wildfires from the forest towards the farm. Ashes fall, coat our hair and hands. We watch and wait. 2022. I help my brother set up the irrigation, the drip lines, the lines that will drip, drop by drop, water to the root of each young vine. We fear drought in this semi-arid climate of sand and cacti, rattlesnake and silver sage. We anticipate drought to come thrashing through this land of hummingbirds and antelope brush, of ponderosa pines and waxwings, milkweed and swallowtails. We create false rain to combat weather, to manipulate seasons, to create ambient moisture, to create a false ecosystem, to sustain these baby vines through this scorched season, the stifle of hot sun, the squalid summer that will not come and then will not end. The months bleed into heat waves capped with a heat dome as the months dry and become crisp and flake like skin. (2022) We ready for harvest. My mother makes prasad on the stovetop. The holy smell of ghee, sugar, and flour carries her wishes for a blessed harvest towards the sky, towards her many gods. We pray for rain and sun. We pray for the absence of hail and wind, fire and flood. We pray for the embrace of good weather, gentle weather. We pray, we eat, we ready for harvest.